money in the bank.
Hit you with the 808.
Hit you with the. Hit you with the bang. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Hit you with the. Hit you with the 808. Bang to the back, bang to the back, bang to the
Hi guys, and welcome to VCT Game Changers Southeast Asia Series FSL Circuit, the league that's all about growing the competitive women's gaming scene and seeing how women in esports change the game. I'm your host, Jenny Originally, and here with me on the desk for today is Kentrell. Hey, I'm Quack. We'll be joined by Gian Illustrato as well as Leonard Omo later on to cast today's games. But Quack, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, very impressed. That line threw me off guard. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, dude, I mean, women are game changers, and that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this FSL Valorant circuit. And I mean, I gotta say, a lot of news across the, I guess, past week about women and, sports and gaming, and some, weird things, but some positive things as well. I mean, even just in the Olympics, women athletes wearing shorts and then pink wanting to pay for those fines. It's awesome. I love to see stuff like this. Positivity for women all around. But here it is. It's Valorant Game Changers SEA, and of course, a lot of these teams have been qualifying, playing for the past week, past couple days, and they have improved so much. I can't wait to see what we've got today.
Yep, for sure. And talking about what we've got for today, guys, you're in for a hell of a ride. We've got two best of three series going on. First up, of course, our headliner game for today. It's going to be Alter Ego Celeste going up against Magnifique really shortly in that best of three. Later on today, we're going to see Renadus White versus our cat Aresta. Will be casted by Illustrato as well as Omo. We're doing a little switcheroo. But for now, guys, of course, if you're tuning in, you're on the English stream. Hello. I think this is facebook.com/FSLFPS as well as twitch.tv/FSL. But because we've got a total of 8 teams currently playing in the playoffs this time around, we've got all the action being streamed for you at the same time. So guys, you don't need like 4 monitors going on. You can just kind of like, do that like little
Stream.
We've got all the other language streams going up. There's the Bahasa stream as well as the Thai stream over on YouTube, as well as another Twitch channel. I think it's twitch.tv/FSL_TH for the Thai stream. Yep. So if you guys are looking at the matchups and you're like, maybe I don't want to watch Alter Ego Celeste for some reason, I can take a look at the rest of the competition. But if that's what floats your boat, you can go ahead and check that out too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know there are a lot of different VCT fans, some of you who support the Filipino teams like Hashira. That's definitely on the Thai stream right now. But at the very least, what we've got for this entire FSL Valorant circuit, I think it's a good thing to just remind everyone how it works. We have an FSL open for pretty much every month leading up towards September. Afterwards, it's going to be FSL Open Overtime, and of course the last one, which is FSL Wildcard. And what all these different FSLs are all about is for the teams to gain enough points and gain slots to qualify for the final stage, FSL Elite, which is this huge tournament and a very, very big prize pool. Maybe we could just take a look at what that is. Jenny, you want to break that down for us?
Oof. Oh, I think that's on the exciting. Okay, spoiler. You guys will find out what the total price was. We heard about it and we were like, wait, is it time for a career switch? No, never mind. We're going to take a look at how far into the circuit we are so far. Of course, we're on Open 5 for this month. It's actually as the name suggests, the 5th Open, but we only have a total of 6 Opens that are being played before Wildcard next month. So pretty much, as Quack said, point of the ladder is for the top 3 teams was changed from the top 2 teams, since now we got a big lot of Riot support coming in, got more teams participating, hugely increased prize pool. But yeah, so we're trying to figure out the top 3 teams on the leaderboard. Of course, if you guys are watching 1 to 4 of the opens, I mean, A Celeste, I think they came in first every single previous open, so they actually have 40 points. We'll talk about that a bit, but yeah, that's the prize pool being shown on the screen right there. A whopping $25K US prize pool for FSL Elite happening in October. It's absolutely insane. Also, the prize pool for each individual open is a total of $5,000 US. It's just 1,500 straight to the victors of each single open, which is absolutely insane. That's more than, I think, triple the prize pool. I think the previous prize pool is something like 500 or so of per open. So definitely, I mean, for these girls playing in the tournament, we're talking about, the stakes here. It's a lot of bragging rights, it's points, but it's also some pretty sweet money that's on the
sweet
table.
moolah. So good. I mean, all this is thanks to the support that we've got from Riot, but also let's just take a look at the leaderboards that we have right now. Of course, like you mentioned, Alter Ego Celeste. Look at that number. They won. They were the champions for every single FSL Open up till now. And that's why they've got 40 big whopping points.
Yeah, and, that's actually insane because now that they've made it, they did had to play last week to qualify for Elite because the start of the year we were like, we've got 6 opens. Celeste just kind of needs to win 4 opens and then they can kind of take a break for 5 and 6. But there isn't really a minimum point cap for the table that will ensure your ticket through to Elite. The way the math works is that you just kind of need to make sure that there's no 4th place team that even if they win 5 and 6 that can knock you out of that top 3. So Alter Ego Celeste, because of the way the points work, they made it into the top 8 this time around. Let me put this into perspective for you guys. They could AFK the whole of today, the whole of the next 4 days, and they would make it into Elite because the minimum points that they can get after being into the top 8 is at 2 points. And before Open 5, they only needed 1 more point to make sure that they were going into FSL Elite. So it's absolutely crazy. They could, AFK. They could do a every round knife. They could do a, Inari, you go 1v5 this time around. It's absolutely crazy just how dominant this team is.
Yeah, of course they're dominant, but they're not like that. They respect and love the game so much that they're gonna give it everything that they've got. But you know what? The other teams that are qualified for this FSL Open 5, they have also for sure gonna give everything they've got. I mean, let's just take a look at their names right now. Some familiar ones like Galaxy Racer, Renatus White, Asteria, of course. I know they've got a lot of fans, but the Thai teams as well: Kid My Orc, Arikat Aresta, and some newer ones, Hashira SR, as well as Magnifique. I mean, they managed to come here to qualify through the group stages, and they've made it into these playoffs for a reason. And that is, I think, because they want to take down Alter Ego Celeste.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you only become the best by beating the best, and Alter Ego Celeste, definitely, there have been multiple interviews with this team with, a couple of other, esports news outlets that have been done in the last couple of months, and pretty much for them, their confidence level is where they say things like, yeah, we've never lost a series. We might have lost some maps, so, we're not perfect, but yeah, I mean, their win record, absolutely insane. I think we're gonna take a look at the rosters for both these teams really quickly as well. But we've been casting Alter Ego Celeste since before they even picked up their sponsors, and Alter Ego from last year. And FSL, of course, they had marvelous showings every single competition that they competed in. And there you see on your screens the roster of AE Celeste. If you don't know these girls by now, you absolutely should. It's Tarathio, Iniri, Iceberg, Ayumi, Margot, as well as Aureophilia, who this time around will be subbing for the team. There's that cute little interview where they said Aureophilia is probably not going to play today unless someone's power or internet goes out, then we're gonna sub her in.
But I mean, yeah. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But you know what? They're going up against Magnifique, and this is a team that they have played in FSL several times before. They have qualified, except for last month. They unfortunately lost in their group stages, lower bracket final. But this time they've made it. They beat Oasis Gaming Aqua, and that's one of the teams that actually made it to playoffs last month. So the fact that they're here, I think they've definitely done their homework, and playing up against Alter Ego Celeste. Call it what you will, maybe a little bit unlucky that they got them in their very first seed, but I want to see what they've got. I truly, truly believe that you do your homework, and just like Alter Ego said in some of their interviews, a lot of these teams are improving, and they cannot be left behind. So this is going to be one heck of a first match.
Yeah, I've got the quote from Tarathiel right here from one of the interviews she recently did, and she was saying like, "Oh, we can't underestimate teams like Oasis Gaming, Galaxy Racer, and the Impaler." Kind of a little RIP for Magnifique that they didn't mention them in the interview. Mentioned kind of like three other teams, but not Magnifique. We'll like give it a pass for now, since they managed to come into the finals. Some managed to steal maps, and sometimes the games were also close. So it's like just that level of confidence, but also just kind of like self awareness as well, that they know how good the team is and they're not exactly being humble about it. But when you watch their games, you're like, yeah, okay, I see why. I see why. Like they walk the walk, they talk the talk.
They walk the walk, they talk the talk, but here it is. This is going to be the map selection right now. And of course, I mean, some of these maps are already quite familiar. Some of the stats prove that these are the maps that the teams will be strong on, especially for Alter Ego Celeste on Ascent. But Icebox and Breeze, now that's going to be interesting. It is one of those, the two newer maps, and also maybe some of those maps that haven't been practiced that much for some of these teams. That said, I still think it's going to be one heck of a show. Aside from that, though, aside from these new maps, KO has also been enabled for agent selection.
Yep, the difference this time around for open number 5 is that both Breeze as well as KO are enabled. I think when open 4 came around last month, they were both out, the map and the agent, but I think there was just not enough time yet to usually have to wait for like 1 or 2 patches before they're enabled for competitive. So I'm pretty hyped to see Breeze if we do make it to that map number 3. But guys, here to bring you the action, joining Quack on the caster's desk is also going to be Gian Illustrato. Guys, take it away.
And there we have it. It's going to be poof. Regashu's gone.
Yeah, I've somehow managed to evolve today, and I'm no longer Rarichu. It's just one of the things that happens sometimes. We just switch, kind of like Ranma, where
give you a little thunderstone and
yeah,
poof.
yeah, a little bit. But yeah, while Rarichu was struggling to remember my name, I was trying to go over the the teams that are coming in here. And you talked on the panel about Celeste being the ultimate favorites. We didn't get to go into predictions, I think, a little bit earlier, but I think I'm going to go and touch on that right now. We were having a little bit of a discussion about this before the game started, and you think that there might be a chance for an upset here?
Yes, I do. You know why? We took a look at the statistics. We did our homework, guys. We're casters, and of course, we saw that Alter Ego Celeste, as strong as they are, 4-time champions, but they did lose on some of these maps, and most particularly Icebox and Breeze. They lost to Kid Majorque and Oasis Gaming Aqua on Icebox in the previous month's open. So the fact that it has been picked this time, I think it was Alter Ego Celeste's map pick, which is interesting, but there is that chance. So I'm going to believe in Magnifique for this game.
Wow, bold predictions right there. I'm going to be the one right here to sort of bring you back to reality. 4-time champs for a reason. Sorry, Quack. I don't mean to crush your hopes and dreams, but I definitely think this could be one of the shorter games here today. I mean, there's probably a chance that Alter Ego Celeste will try a couple of things, and that might lead them to lose a map. Like, they might get a little bit experimental with the agent select, something that they just wanted to test out. And, honestly, this is one of the best times to do it, because they know that there's not really that much on the line for them, except for, bragging rights yet again. This is still, and of course the prize pool, but this is still one of the times that they can say, hey, this is a golden opportunity for us to try a new composition, some new strats that we might not have been sure of, previously, and they might pull it out and it might backfire, and somehow Magnifique might be able to steal away a match.
Who knows, right? I mean, the fact that Magnifique actually, the way that they even qualified into the playoffs was that they beat Oasis Gaming Aqua. And that's the team that I think was the first runner-up from last month's Open. That's a pretty big statement, a very bold statement, in fact. And it's not just any map as well. It was Breeze. They beat them in the lower bracket finals 13-11. Very close, but it's still a win nonetheless.
Yeah, and you know, getting a win on those maps like Breeze and Icebox, those are super important, especially when Alter Ego Celeste have shown a little bit of weakness. You know, just like a little bit of an Achilles heel on that map. Whether it can be exploited or not, that's still a question that is very much up for debate here. But here we go, ladies and gents, and everybody in between. Alter Ego Celeste versus Magnifique, the first game of the day. And we got
Ooh.
Ascent. This is where we're hanging out here today, Quack.
Look at what Ayumi's hovering over, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the KO. I personally think that KO is such a strong agent. And I want to see how Alter Ego Celeste. I think this is the first time that we're seeing it in FSL. So I want to see how they are able to utilize KO in their executes and in their mid-round or late-round executes, just to see what kind of creativity they have in terms of utilizing the utility from KO.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to say the least. Of course, Ayumi, she was one of the few players who did pick KO in the group stages. They played him twice. So I think they definitely should have some things prepared, but still, it's kind of in that experimental phase. So I'm not sure if it's going to be that effective, but we'll have to see if that 0 point or suppression blade is going to be that effective at all, even if in the first place. But interestingly enough, because you brought me back into reality, I had to go and check those stats. And guess what? Alter Ego Celeste, they have 100% win rate on Ascent. 12 out of 12 times. They win every single time on this map.
Yeah, that's a very strong win rate. I mean, a very strong argument on why this is probably going to go the way we expect it. I mean, just the percentage enough is, you know, tells us quite a little bit of a story here. But still, always room for upsets. You know, I think this is probably, like I said earlier, one of the maps where, I don't know, maybe Alter Ego Celeste is still warming up, or maybe they're just trying out a few things like this KO. So who knows? Maybe a miracle in Ascent could happen today. Just
Could be, but the best thing about this one ability that we have so far is that it goes through walls, but you know what else goes through walls? It's Aneri. She's already pushed outside of B main and finds the first frag, even trying to push them off using her the paint shells. Gets a triple kill already to start things off, and Magnifique are stuck in this 2v5.
This is a perfect example of why, you know, Alter Ego Celeste are so good. Their defensive side is just unforgiving. They'll double peek and push together on B main like this, and they just won't stop. They're just running over. They get, sure, there's one kill, but Aneri finds 4, and it's really pretty much the cleanest pistol round you could have asked for on the defensive side for Alter Ego Celeste. This is why you gotta keep up on your toes, man, because they will push you and win those aim duels.
This is ridiculous. I mean, Aneri already starting things off 4-0. And like you said, they don't stop. I think they're basically a bulldozer, even on the attacking side. And it's something that if you're not prepared for, you're going to get punished. So Magnifique, maybe this time around they're going to have to play a little bit slower, but seeing as their buys come in, it's more utility and classics. So just a bit of economical damage is probably what they're looking for in this round. I think it's probably going to be a 2-0 start for AE Celeste.
Yeah, I honestly think that, well, Ayumi's actually on the ghost, and that's probably have to do with the fact that one person died on the pistol round. Just to account for the fact that, on their bonus round, we can still be able to get enough. So a little bit of intuitive buying here for Alter Ego Celeste. But Iceberg almost got caught off right there by Cannon Z, but still, in the end, only 72 HP still left. Ayumi right there for Daleen. Is able to catch her off towards mid, and this is already a 3v5. Rest of the members approaching towards A, and they actually managed to get a pick onto Margot, who was the sentinel over there. But will they expect the close encounter with the Celeste kind? No, doesn't look like it, because it's almost the perfect round for Alter Ego Celeste in this 2-0.
Yet again, I mean, we're just kind of padding Aneri's stats here. It's already up to 405 ACS, average combat score. And you know what? She has got the highest average combat score out of every single girl, every single player in the entire FSL Valorant circuit. I mean, it's a whopping number of 317.3. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think the only person that has ever even come close to that was, I think, Shrey from
Asteria.
Asteria, thank you. Yeah, but still, again, that's definitely an an outlier of a statistic and just goes to show how good Inari can be. And look at this, buy round right now, technically still the bonus round for Celeste, but they're still going for those aggressive pushes in B main. And why I like this is it forces Magnifique to use utility just to get map control on areas that they should normally have control over, and in fact give it up completely.
Exactly. I mean, just take a look at the minimap right now. You can effectively draw a line across it, and you can just see how much map control exactly does Magnifique have. But because of this one engagement, they've managed to break in towards the A site. Very possibly getting the spike down soon as well. But the question is, can AE Celeste actually bring this back? Iceberg just a little bit 1 second slower, able to find one headshot and possibly a weapon upgrade along with that as well. You can see that she has a Phantom right now. So 3v4 retake, a bit of utility spent in already, and they're making their way down from heaven. Surely they expect the positions, but they won't be able to win the duels. Cannon Z finds one more, and now they're going back into a 3v2.
Yeah, Tarathiel is able to pick up one, and that just makes things that much more expensive. Iceberg all alone here, but she's managed to do some damage, and almost picks up the kill on Sazabi, but in the end, it's still a win for Magnifique. But it's costly win, a little bit of a Pyrrhic victory, if you ask me, as they drop 3 rifles on what was essentially the bonus round for Alter Ego Celeste. And Iceberg really cleaning them up, already catching up to Inari this early on. What a great round from them. Pretty clean from honestly, from Celeste. That was more than they could have asked for to get 3 rifles to gone.
Yeah, it's a lot of economical damage, and that's why taking a look at what they've got right now in their buys, it's a lot of hesitation, right? 2,000 credits remaining, and that's after having spent it on utility. They're definitely going to have to maybe make some sacrifices. Maybe someone from the team can buy up for them. We might even see Alyssa maybe just relying on the Blade Storm if she has it. I'm not too sure.
She does not have it right now, but she's going to be picking up that orb. Just to be able to get that Blade Storm for this round, and so I'm sure that that's going to be the play here. Do you have a little bit of a technical pause, as you know, these things happen. We're not on LAN, and even on LAN, those things happen quite a bit.
Oh yeah, it happened quite a bit for sure. Definitely on even Iceland Masters, Reykjavik.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got to be like trial run, dude, because like it's the first LAN I think of Valorant ever, and there's bound to be some things that are gonna go wrong.
Yeah, that's why you got casters to talk about this stuff, right? So I think this is a good time to talk about the team structure a little bit. For AE Celeste, at the very least, we know that Tarathiel is the in-game leader. But on the other side, for Magnifique, Deline, the Reyna, who kind of doubles up as an entry frag, she's the one who's calling the shots for Magnifique.
Yeah, let's see which one. Oh, the technical timeout thing is a little bit stuck there. But we'll get it out of the way in just a second. Operator also on Ayumi towards mid, but not really getting any opportunities to pick anyone off just yet. And as I say that, Deline walking straight into her crosshair. Execution now towards A coming in as the owl drones and the smokes now being deployed here. There still is quite a bit of resistance as Ayumi will throw out that nade. It's a painful nade, and so they will want to wait it out for the meantime here as each and every one of these members just throwing out everything they got, but Iceberg's right there for the one-off. Able to be taken down one, but still, it's a 3v5 currently. And they look like they're just completely stuck here. But as I say that, Alyssa, great headshot as well, alongside Sazabi. And they brought this back to a 3v3.
3v3, now they're backing off, sensing that the rotates have already happened for Alter Ego Celeste. As soon as they push into mid, though, it's Inari who gets all this information. In fact, this stalls the time because they're going to be stuck before they even make it on towards B. And in all this chaos, in fact, it's going to be Ayumi who makes it there first. And keep in mind, she has the operator. As soon as they cross out of B main, she's going to connect the first shot. There you have it. Now it's a 3v2. Can they actually get the spike down with 10 seconds remaining? I don't know. No way. So. Look at the flicks. Oh my god, it's a quadra for this girl in this round.
Ayumi just getting the perfect flash, knowing that they were strapped for time. Pulls out misses the first shot, but she's got aim in spades with that pistol. So she pulls out the ghost and gets a double. Stylish finish right there for Ayumi, showing her chops. And what a round, showing why Alter Ego Celeste. Not just Inari is here to play, and Iceberg, Ayumi's right there with them.
This is ridiculous. I mean, we talk about Inari so much. You have to keep in mind, Ayumi's the one who has the second highest average combat score in her team. And this is exactly why you saw those ghost flicks. But here we go. It's round number 5. And Inari already, again, the aggression through B main. She's been doing this every single round now. And at this point, Magnifique are terrified of pushing through. Alyssa tries to updraft away, but gets shut down instead. Oh my god. And she's going in for even more. Look at that. It's a triple. Flawless victory while the rest of the team just make quick work of Magnifique. It's so tough for them to get map control just because of these plays.
Alter Ego Celeste is just having a field day, man. They're just going at it. There's no way that Magnifique are able to stop that B main control from Alter Ego Celeste. Try as they might, they try to play passive, they get picked off and pushed out anyway with flashes and recon darts. They try to play it aggressive, they walk into a crossfire and then they just lose it. There's just no answer right now for Magnifique's side on how to get that map control. And Alter Ego Celeste, they will keep denying B main every single time if you don't force them back. And so far, they haven't been made to respect Magnifique just yet.
Can they actually get forced back, though? This might just do it. It's going to be Daleen who finds the entry on towards Inari. Here's the second entry coming in from Canon Z. And finally, the third as well. The site is theirs. And of course, the spike should get planted on B side fairly soon. Tarathiel and Margot, all the way from A. Will they actually be able to make it in time for this retake? Or are they going to save? What do you think, Illustrato?
I think that they have a lot of money, so they're probably going to go for it. Or at the very least, make it, quite expensive. As much as they can, but this is just a prime example of Magnifique going to make Alter Ego Celeste respect them. That play towards B, definitely punishable, but Daleen getting caught off, trying to get a little bit too cheeky in that smoke, and now they've brought it back and made it a little bit more challenging for themselves. Still should be a clean round here for Magnifique at the end of the day. But it looks like they're going to go for the attempt regardless. Confidence for Celeste as they go get that first kill onto Alyssa. Second one for Tarathiel right there, but it's going to be the end of the round as Magnifique clean it up. They've lost more than they wanted for sure. That could have been an easy 5-man flawless round, but Celeste, they get 3 as they go down.
3 as they go down, and you know what that means. Even more economical damage for Magnifique, but still, it's a win nonetheless, and they also get the spike down, so nice little win bonus. They'll be able to buy back into the round, except for, yeah, I know, everyone gets to buy back. But here's the thing that I want you to take a look at, the ultimate economy. Every single team, both teams right now, they got 4 out of 5 ultimates, and this is going to be quite explosive if they play their cards right.
Yeah, and now it's going to be a matter of when they use them and how they use them. But look at this. In the smoke right here, towards B main, a little bit of a standoff as they sort of dip and duck and dodge through that smoke. But again, Inari pushing out through the smoke. Showstopper close enough right there with Iceberg. Showstopper doesn't land, but Iceberg does. With a double kill right there. And they are merciless right now. Getting a flawless 1 HP on Inari. And she somehow closes out that round. And this B main presence, you'd think that they would stop after getting punished in that last round. No, they double down. They go even harder and be like, all right, you're going to stop us in our tracks on B main. We'll take you down too.
Take them down too. They bring out the showstopper even. I mean, you win a round, you do some economical damage, and it's just so good. 5-2 is the score right now. And Alter Ego Celeste, just by the positions on their minimap, you know it's going to be yet another big firefight up towards B main.
They are now really, I think, in dire straits here, economically speaking, Magnifique. And look at this, just so much utility coming out here towards B main because they really want to stop anyone from coming in here. And now they even have to worry about their flank towards mid. If it's not mid, B main they're worried about, they still got to think about their mid pushing in them. And smoke or not, they're going to walk straight through as Ayumi getting 4. And Ayumi cleans up that eco round as clean as can be. 6-2 Magnifique, they are just on a warpath here.
This is absolutely just burning. I mean, oh my god. Okay, let's take a pause. If you were Magnifique, how do you possibly counter this B main aggression coming in from AEC?
Okay, first of all, I'd call a timeout just to breathe. Second of all, they have shown the fact that they are willing to invest 3 members into that B main presence. And what they do is they have, the Sentinel on A. The options that you could go for that would be either to push A main with the straight up hit, or to just really wait out all the utility that's coming towards B main and let Alter Ego Celeste deploy that utility and then fall back, which is exactly what they're doing now. And this is a little bit of a better start from them. But what counts is after the utility is gone, how do they fight for B main? And this is exactly what they needed to do here. But a little bit of a greedy pick, I think. They should have double swung that just in case Iceberg was still lingering on. But finally, they're able to get the kills that they do need, especially that one towards mid, which opens up both sides of the map for them. And even just using that from the shadows for good measure will allow them to get onto site cleanly. This should be a round for Magnifique.
Yeah, there we have it. It's going to be yet another frag, and finally the last one, Deline taking the head clean off of Margot, and a 6-3 scoreline. It's a nice adaptation from Magnifique, but the question is, can they actually keep this up? I want to believe it, but knowing how AEC plays, they're probably going to switch things up. I mean, take a look at the minimap already. Neri, maybe they're looking to make some aggressive plays through mid instead of B main. You can see the pings coming out on the minimap as well from the teams.
Indeed. You know what I like, Quack? The fact that I mentioned how that they can sort of get that B main control, and they figure it out exactly on that round. They wait so patiently for B main, and then are they able to punish right now? And so, Alter Ego Celeste, they're going for something else here. They're going for a push towards mid, and that nets them one kill on Deline here. But it's a good default setup, good zoning. Knowing where they can trade from, and that just allows them a quick trade towards B main, mid rather, as they now swarm that B side. There still is a couple of ultimates here, Ayumi and Margot. They have one apiece, and so this is going to come in handy in this retake.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just going through the theories that we have right now. You pop the lockdown, you pop the null command, and it gives you an extra life, kind of like a Phoenix ult. She's going in for it, and there we go, lockdown now. And Magnifique are basically stuck in place unless they push up front to take that lockdown away. Ayumi leading the charge though. If they don't deal with her, this is going to be so disastrous. She's pushing in towards Darkseid, and Alyssa cannot deal with it. Cannon Z, last one alive. She took out the lockdown, but can she actually win this? 1v2 goes in for the spray, and Iceberg just cleans things up. 3-7, and AEC still on a roll.
It's really coming down here to the aim duels at the very end of the day. Let's be real. That was a great take by Magnifique. They actually had a man advantage, but I think they did get a little bit thrown off by the timing. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Margot actually used her lockdown a little bit late. And instead of waiting, I think that gave Magnifique a little bit of a false sense of security that, we have a few seconds before they push in. But no, Celeste just pushed right off the bat, right after deploying it. And that definitely caught Magnifique a little bit off guard. Like, why would they push so soon? And nets them a round win.
Exactly. I mean, this is a game of fine margins. Even the slightest change in timing can kind of throw you off guard. But here we go. It's Alyssa also popping her ultimate. She's going in. She gets the first one. But now Iceberg trying to make some plays out of B main. She gets spotted, but Tokibi does not win the duel. She gets tagged up, but you know what? Taking a look at the minimap, it's probably going to be a push in towards A, and all these resources spent in towards B main is just a farce. It's a 3v4 retake now for AEC.
Yeah, it's a good usage of ultimate, but Cannon Z definitely has to get closer to the site before this retake comes in, because Margot already applying so much pressure as she gets the kill onto Deline here, trying to follow it up with a second, and Margot, the Sentinel right now, but the Scourge as well, to the bane of Alter Ego Celeste right there, of Magnifique, excuse me, and that just leaves Cannon Z all alone, gets a spray down through the smoke, but still has two more to find here, and Tarathiel is going to go for the defuse, but Neri's right there with the backup to seal the deal on the round. 8-3. Alter Ego Celeste, they bring it back.
This is just so gnarly. And we're coming in towards the end of the last round of the first half. Oh. The Cannon Z, I mean, she did win one duel, but two remaining. And at that point, they didn't even really line up. She ran out of utility. She tried to push in, but it's just so tough. I mean, you got one in a little bit of an elevated position because of the site platform itself, and unfortunately they lose. So 3-8 now, and it's going to be AC again with the aggression. 0 point committed. They get a lot of information off of this, and now the pop flash comes forward. It's gonna be a Neri. She gets 2 flicks, but now Daleen swings things back.
Look at how nice that mid control is. The perfect pop flash, right? And then just the double swing out just nets them a man advantage here. Now it's a 2v1. Tokubi's position is pretty much known here, and so there's a very limited amount of places that she can go. Footsteps are heard as well, but so should the rotation be, actually. And now they've got all angles pretty much covered. You got Tarathiel just covering. It's going to be all up to timing here, and they don't spot out Takaibi, actually. And
I think they know.
yeah, they must know, right? Because that's a smoke coming in towards B main, and that's going to delay Tokaibi just a tiny, tiny bit, but should still get the plant off.
Should still get the plan off. Spike goes in, changes the timer to about 40 seconds, and now it's just a question of how AEC coordinates their push. I mean, it is a 2v1 after all. Margot might be low, but they have so many options. Look at their utility as well. I mean, at least one Nano Swarm, and then Tarathiel has a Shrouded Step plus the Dark Cover. Tokibi might get the information, but will they actually just play off contact or double swing? How does she win this? She has to isolate the duels. She tries to play around the backside, but oh my god, just loses the duel to Margot, who has been so crisp, so sharp, and of course, a 9-3 at the end of the first half. I mean, how do you feel about that, Illustrato?
I mean, there's not really much you can do about that. It's a good idea. She had a pretty decent position that she couldn't have been really flushed out of. And Tokaibi actually had a good angle isolation, a good fight isolation there. Just, you can't win that duel towards the end. You're not going to get the round. And that's just all that it boils down to here. But hopefully they can turn over a new leaf here as we do switch over to the pistol round in the next half. And let's see what they can bring. The defensive side should be, I'd say, a little bit more forgiving for Magnifique. As they aren't going to be constantly bombarded with aggression from the defensive side. But we'll see.
We shall see. I mean, just taking a look at the lineup that they've got on AEC's side, we already know how insane an area can be. It's going to be very, very aggressive. But it's important to note, she did not buy up her blast pack, so I don't think they're going to dive right in. In fact, maybe just bait out a little bit of utility. And something to note also is that Sazabi has been placing her sky smokes, but Ayumi's the one who actually makes the most use out of them because she pop flashes out of it. But here we go. Canon Z finding the first one, now rotates back around. Elisa unable to track the air shots, and it's going to be a Neri who cuts the side in half. They go in, they seize control, and the spike gets planted.
Yeah, that crossfire was dismantled so quickly right there. And they even catch off to Kaibi trying to spray through that wall, trying to get some wallbang damage. And Aries going to get taken down here, bringing us to a 2v2. Heal up, but it's all up to Daleen. It doesn't even get a chance as the quick peek from Ayumi just decimates her. Quick shot to the dome. And 10-3 is where we find ourselves. This is looking very much dire, almost done for Magnifique, unless they can pull out a miracle.
Ah, man. I mean, what do you think, Illustrato? Is this a done deal?
Yeah, I'd say so, especially after winning that pistol round. But I think what matters right now is that Magnifique are able to build up momentum, especially for the upcoming game that's coming up next, just so that they don't get too disheartened, But, comebacks happen. I just don't think it's very likely, especially on Ascent.
I'm going to have to agree. This is one of Magnifique's strongest maps, and it is also their map pick. So the fact that they aren't doing too well, it just doesn't bode well at all for them. But then again, if they are actually able to play close range with these pistols, if the right clicks happen just right, they might be able to win a few of these duels, but turrets have gone in. The paint shell's also committed onto it. It's the lean who falls, and now they have control over the site. And Neri just looking to cut them off, and the rotate's playing around a little bit, and she has been known to do this, but Elisa actually takes her down. 2v3 retake now, but they are banged up and really low.
They have managed to make it a little bit expensive, but at this point, it's really the rounds that are starting to matter the most here. And when Celeste is picking up round after round, they're going to be taking these wins any day, even if they do lose a couple of players.
I mean, talk about momentum. I mean, you mentioned the rounds, right? It's 11-3. We have the buys. We have the confidence on the side of AEC. And now, I mean, it's going to be a full buy for Magnifique. They did lose it the third round, that is, for AEC. Even if it's a loss, we're going to see a 4-11, and then that's 7 rounds in a row that they need just to equalize the scoreboard.
You're absolutely right. It's a very much tall task and a mountain to climb here for Magnifique. They are on their gun round, though, so they can find a little bit of a saving grace, silver lining on this dark cloud, if they can pick up this round and do it cleanly. It's important that they get this flawless for the sake of economy, which they do have to build up over the coming rounds here. Ultimate now coming up. That's the lockdown deployed very early on for this bonus round, and so that's going to force them back. And they actually get...
Sorry, in towards B lobby. She actually might be able to cut them off on the flank, but Iceberg is already watching it, and she takes the lead down. Sorry to cut you off there, but again, it's just AEC looking so unstoppable despite Magnifique being on a full buy. Tarathiel with the Spectre still making it work at long range. Tokibi and Elisa now in the 2v3.
Still pretty much doable, I'd say, but as I say that, Elisa, the only man left standing, only woman left standing, excuse me, and that's all she wrote right there. Zaneri pretty much seals the deal on this round and the game, I feel. After getting a full reset on Magnifique, there's just very little at this point Magnifique can do, especially when Inari's hitting shots like that. Hey, look at that, 18 and 8 at the moment, and we're only at round 16.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's day and night. Look at the scoreboard. I mean, the KDAs on both sides. AEC, every single one of them have a positive KD. Magnifique, on the other hand, completely opposite. It's negative KDA. And right now, because they've committed every single resource into winning the previous round, and then they lost, economy broken in this round. They need to make it count because it is match point, but here we go. The executes are looking to happen on the A site. 0 point committed in towards heaven. And Brimstone, Sazabi that is looking to slow it down with the incendiary.
Yeah, and that shock dart is just going to make it that much more difficult here. No way to heal up for Takaibi there, and it's going to be straight up executing right now. Margot is able to get a pick right there, and through that doorway, Sazabi's able to pick off one. Cannon Z is ready for a trade, but still, 3v3. Okay, all hopes are not shattered just yet. You might be able to hang on for a round longer, especially after Elisa gets this great flank on. Is able to pull out the blades, and working from the back lines is able to get another, but in a 1v1, is currently canceled out right here, so she does have to utilize this Spectre, but time is taken away, not in her favor. That blade is just going to make it a little bit more difficult to use those blades if it so happens. And look at this, just from behind the box, Ayumi is just throwing out all the utility just to buy time for this take right now, but that's a great tag right there. Alyssa gets it down here, but has a cloud burst to work with, hasn't tapped it. Can she get it to half? She needs to actually get it to half here, and she does not. Gets denied by Ayumi with a beautiful headshot, and that's going to be a win right now for Alter Ego Celeste. Could you even deny it? Could anyone have expected any different?
I wanted to expect something different, but there you have it, just undeniably strong. AEC 13-3 on the very first game of FSL Open 5. And there you have it, scoreboard as well. Inari 18-9, I think it was. That's a 2.0 KD. This is insane, and you're seeing KO just absolutely masterfully played by Ayumi.
Yeah, in that very last round, it was just a thing of beauty, just knowing what utility and the timing of everything. Just, okay, my blade's up in 2 seconds, I'll do that first, and then I'll pull out the flash just to slow him down to the point that it forced out, you know, just the most awkward of post-plant situations to go for. She had to use like 3 cloudbursts just to try to even get it to half, and then it didn't even get to do that. Really, really great stuff here. And that's not to say, you know, that's not even including all the great plays earlier on the defensive side from Ayumi, especially with the AWP and then the Ghost Flick. Just a lot of class and finesse showed up by this Celeste side.
Class, finesse, aggression. I mean,
you
talk about it, the defensive side, and it seems like AEC did not get the memo because they were playing attack, basically. And it's just so strong. They have been doing this every single FSL Open, and at this point, I think it's what, 13 out of 13 maps played on Ascent, and they win every single one. But you know what? Next map, I believe it's going to be Icebox, and it's one of those maps that AE Celeste actually lost on in the previous month's Open. But it's actually their map pick this time around. And do you have any thoughts about that?
I think that they've picked out Icebox just so that they can get a little bit more experience on it. I'll be honest with you. I think they just wanted to play it just to get more experience and, make sure they have identified that this is a weakness for them. This is a team that's very much self-aware. So they know, okay, we lost on Icebox once, we lost on Breeze once. Let's make sure it doesn't happen again. Get as much experience on Icebox so that the next time that they go up on it, whether it's now or in the future, they've sort of tightened all the screws and cut out all the loose ends.
That is a 200 IQ play in itself. I mean, not just in terms of gameplay, but in tournament play, right? This is something that most people don't really expect. But we're going to go for a quick break. Don't go away, guys. It's going to be Icebox, AE Celeste versus Magnifique. Right back.
Show me what you got.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Alter Ego Celeste in a very, very convincing victory up against Magnifique. Defensive side, attacking side, doesn't matter. They're going to come straight at you, and it shows that Magnifique were not entirely ready for that prospect just yet, but who knows, things might shake up here in Icebox. Again, my name is Illustrator. Joining me today on my cast is Quack. How you feeling today, man? And how did that last game go for you?
Dude, chills down my spine. Not just because Ice Box, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's this crazy aggression that you're seeing from AEC, and even trying new things out like KO, and then now playing Icebox. You can certainly expect a lot from them, but Magnifique, that's a team that I still want to believe in. It might have been a 13-3, but you know what? Icebox, it's a huge toss-up, because if we just take a look at the map statistics for both teams, for AE Celeste, 9 out of 11 wins on Icebox. Meanwhile, Magnifique, it's about 4 out of 7 wins. So I'm not quite sure what to expect, but we got some nice statistics from the post-game analysis from what we just saw.
Yeah, coming into Icebox, you make a good point there that there is like this little chance that I feel like a miracle will happen. But if I'm going to be honest, from the way that I saw the maps, the earlier map went, it's just the difference, I think, is just so stark between the two teams where you see the just the aim duels that should have been won by Magnifique not going their way. They had a lot of great ideas, don't get me wrong. Magnifique had a lot of great ideas, especially on the attacking side where they were playing defense. But, they just didn't have, I think, I wouldn't say the aim to pull it off. It's just, I feel like Alter Ego Celeste had a little bit more of that oomph. They were feeling that fire a little bit better, and they definitely have warmed up, I think. In Magnifique, they just didn't look like they were, I'd say, hitting their shots compared to AEC.
Yeah, I mean, it says it right there. We just saw in the statistics, very, very lovely statistics provided us by the Riot API, something that not every TO gets to do, but 10 versus 3 frag wins, and that says it all. It's seemingly aim duels, but it really is because you got players like Yumi, players like Margot, and I'm not even talking about Neri or the rest of the squad just yet, because those are the ones who usually have been topping the scoreboard, and they push out B main, they do a lot of these crazy things, and sometimes Magnifique, they seem a little bit tilted, maybe, because they want to fight back on B main.
Yeah, I think it was that way for the first few rounds. They eventually did sort of like wise up and figure out, okay, let's just wait for their utility and then push in. And then they started winning those rounds. But I feel like they were a little bit too late at some points, because there was just amount of rounds that they've given away before they figured out how to deal with the B main presence from Alter Ego Celeste. But yeah, at the end of the day, hindsight is 2020, and we do have to move on to Icebox, where hopefully things will heat up a little bit more.
Ooh, I mean, heat things up. Maybe it'll melt. Maybe we're gonna see more scorched earth policy from AE Celeste. But I'm curious: is KO gonna be picked again? At the very least, we can trust that Magnifique right now, they're going with something a little bit more maybe interesting. Canon Z hovering over the Viper. There it is. It's been selected. And playing on defense, that should be very, very strong. I mean, the delaying potential with the toxic screens, the snake bites, it's huge.
I actually love this lineup from Alter Ego Celeste here. The only thing that I think I'd tweak a little bit more is maybe change the Viper, change the Omen for a Viper. But this is because Margot is just like Omen.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like
She's a
Omen.
broman.
Yeah, exactly. But I love the double initiator lineup. The reason for this on Icebox is that because you can be so aggressive on the defensive side, and it just falls perfectly in their play style. And at the same time, you still can play very aggressive on your attacking side because you do have so much to entry into the site with. You got that, you got the blades, you got everything that you need, you got the flashes, and then you have the Sova to support that even further. So double initiator, and I've said this so many times, I've talked about this with Key before. Double initiator on those big maps like Icebox, like Haven, it's such a great idea and always worth exploring, especially if you're an aggressive team.
So good. And I think it's interesting to note as well, we talked about Margot being the Broman, the Omen main. She's an Omen specialist, but you know what? Iceberg is also a Sova specialist. She almost always picks Sova, and she definitely knows how to play that agent. So doing this, they are very, very comfortable, I think. I mean, you talk about them wanting to experiment and just get more experience on Icebox, and I think they definitely have more than what it takes. But seeing KO as well, I mean, just talking about the previous game again, we've seen how Magnifique, they attempt to go for these stalls, these delays, using the smokes as much as possible, but at some point, it kind of just feeds into Ayumi's flash drives as well. I mean, using KO to pop flash out of the smokes, it's a very, very useful entry tool, and what I want to see more from Magnifique is the willingness to actually shoot in past the smokes and hopefully catch someone off guard. But here we go, round's already started, and Ayumi takes a bit of damage. The heal has been committed, and Inari's trying to push in, but gets fragged out by Elisa instead.
4v4 retake already. Tarathiel going for the plant, but stalled out for a minute longer. Doesn't matter. Her teammates got her back. Ayumi and Margot doing the cleanup duties here. Dalene's good for 1. Dalene's good for 2, and so is Cannon Z, but Iceberg is right there now in a 1v1. Iceberg, the two Sovas right now, looking for each other, playing the information game. Recon Dart is available in a couple seconds. Can she actually make full use of it? And they're standing right beside each other. Who's going to peek first? It's a game of chicken, as both of these players just currently in a stalemate and in an impasse here. But at the end of the day, the clutch going to Iceberg's way. 3 kills for Iceberg and a heartbreaking defeat in the first round for Magnifique.
Man, that is just so unfortunate. Iceberg, she had the armor, I mean the light shields, and of course at that range with the classic, it just does a little bit better. I mean, I think fire rate in terms of classic versus ghost, they're roughly the same, but the thing about the ghost is that you have to be just absolutely dead accurate, and if you're not, at a close range where it's a little bit harder to aim, you have to flick so much more, Iceberg is going to win in that duel. So coming into the next, it's going to be Elisa. She's trying to play off angle with the shorty. If this actually works, it would be great, but it's a one and done position because as soon as she runs out of ammo, she gets taken out. And now it's all up to Cannon Z, who is on the other side of the map. Sazabi does do a little bit more though, but 1v3.
Cannon Z is just trying to creep up all the way here from the flank, but at this point, Magnifique's checked everything, and they know that there's only one place that Cannon Z can really come from. They're already sort of lining up towards it, and, you know, pardon the, little bit of advancement here in the, HUD. I'll get that sorted out for you guys in a second, but round goes in the way that you would expect it. Was a little bit expensive, I'd say, because they did manage to pick up a couple of kills here, but Celeste's not going to be too worried about that one.
Yep. And of course, full buy round for Magnifique. Question is it going to be the same result as what we saw from the previous game? I mean, it started off 2-1, and Magnifique, of course, they pick up the full buy round. Can they actually do it again this time around? Looking at how they're positioned, it's, I guess, kind of standard. You always have the Viper just holding B-side on her own, which just means that Killjoy and Sova, they have to stack up. They have to do as much as possible to stop the pushers from coming in, but AE Celeste, they're not slowing down.
They're just barreling their way onto site as Inari's looking to get that charge in right here. They do have the ultimate to go off of if an Ayumi with her ulti is able to go for that first pick, and she's looking for more because she just has that ultimate ready and waiting. But as I say this, Canon Z and Sazabi, they're taking kills for themselves, one after the other. They've brought things back to a 2v3 right now. Ayumi is still down, but here comes the big flank from Iceberg. Can she make a miracle happen? Because right now they are at a little bit of a disadvantage here, and they could catch him off guard. Has the information on one, knows where the other one is, and he gets the final kill. Recon Dart not going to be the one that she's looking for, and Sazabi gets the third kill and clutches the round for Magnifique. They won, but damn well sure it was expensive as hell.
Man, we talk about AE Celeste barreling past Magnifique, but guess what? You are a boulder, I am a mountain, and that is Sazabi. Thankfully having just enough health to survive that shock dart. So 2-1, and this is looking a little bit better for Magnifique. But then again, slight adaptations in terms of strategy. This time it's going to be Canon Z, the Viper, on A instead of B.
See where let's see what she heads off to. It looks like there's going to be a play towards Nest here, but just a little bit of a quick recon just to get a little bit of information. Viper's Pit deployed in Age just to buy them some time and some space, especially to work this flank that they've got going. Magnifique, they have a lot of information, but the shots are being landed. Tsukibi is able to get that kill on Inari right here, and Alyssa's right there to get that frag onto Margot as well, and this just stifles the A presence completely, leaving them so vulnerable from this flank right now from Alyssa.
A little bit of a nice read as well from Alyssa right now. Since as the rotate's coming back, she's able to find one, but Tarathiel trades it off immediately. So 2v4, and Ayumi still looking to find something past this Viper's Pit. Actually, if she's able to take Canon Z down, which she shoots the blade off of, just denies it completely, and AEC kind of have to back off now. And if you take a look at the minimap, Tokibi's the one watching mid. She might be able to catch him off guard.
And I'm starting to see why. Before I get to that, Tarathiel's able to get onto Kibi, and a little bit of a discombobulated defense for the meantime, just trying to get information. Now, they will be making that rotation towards B, but Sazabi's still laying in wait here. We'll just be calling for the backup. We'll be calling for rotation once she hears the footsteps. Not going to be overcommitting to anything for now. Wall is going to be deployed here. Going to be shooting it down, and that's a little bit of time bought. And they're going to try to deny this plant as quick as possible, but not going to be allowed to do that as Daleen goes down to Tarathiel. That's 3 kills right there from Tarathiel. Looking for the swing. Sazabi gets 1, but just the crossfire dismantled, and a little bit of miscommunication and a little bit of, I'd say, just distraction. That one blade right there from Ayumi just makes life so difficult for Magnifique.
Oh my god, and that's what you see. That's what you want from a KO player. The knife doubles up so much. I mean, first of all, yeah, you got the suppression. Secondly, it kind of works a little bit similarly to the recon dart as well. I mean, you throw it out and people kind of have to shoot it down. It takes about 1 second to wind up. If not, you will get suppressed, and that's why it doubles up as a distraction tool as well. And winning that round just cripples the Magnifique economy yet again. And they're going to be back towards a Spectre and a couple of upgraded pistols. Now, does their setup actually stall and stop this push coming from AEC enough?
It's going to be a tough hold for sure. They do have a couple of ultimates. They do have 3 to be precise, but they're getting spotted through the wall here, looking completely in the wrong direction, and Ari mows them down. He gets 2, looking for more right there. Darlene's good for 1, but still, she's going to be trapped in this corner, leaving Alyssa with the blades all alone, and she knows no way she can get even 1. Tarathiel's the only one to fall, and that's clean as clean can be on this anti-eco for Celeste.
My god, when you just have that many hits to click on, even if you have a Blade Storm,
no.
And yeah, just no, exactly. Just so many. I mean, yeah, target-rich environment, sure, but it's just way too overwhelming. So AEC, I mean, they're not slowing down at all. And at this point, Magnifique, you gotta think about how they can actually adapt around this. I mean, the one time they actually won was, I believe, because of Canon Z's Viper's Pit. When they don't have that, though, are they gonna be able to win?
It's a very big question mark. You know, the one round that they did win, like you mentioned, was with that Viper's Pit, and Unfortunately, they have been losing the mid rounds here. Magnifique very much struggling to get a good read on the offensive side. I do think that 2v4 early on really got into their heads because that should have been a win any day long. But it's a good trade right now. So Zabi still has that res to be able to pick up her teammate, and I think they will be going for that res anytime soon. But the push now coming towards A. Quick plant already. Snake bite not going to be early enough to deny a plant. We'll do a little bit of damage here as the res does come in.
Res comes in, and a bit of mid control. They might actually be able to pull off the split here, which is nice because Anera gets taken out as well. That's the top fragger gone. But still, 3v5, the Toxic Screen cuts the site in half. Then the lockdown comes into play. It's going to be up to AC to push in, but then again, Margot just so aggressive. Finds 3.
Oh my god.
Yumi finds yet another, and then what? The fragment closes out Elisa. 5-1, and AEC just using their utility so well, they are able to win yet again.
Well, that was a hold and a half right there from Ayumi. I just have to point it out, and Margot as well. Margot playing the timing on the lockdown so perfectly, knowing that she has a little bit of space towards the back of the site to fall back to if she does have to retreat into it. And she did. She gets 3 picks and then has to fall back to it, and then still leaves the rest all in the hands of her teammate. And it's like, all right, I did my job. You guys clean this up. And lo and behold, they did exactly that.
Oh my gosh. And now, again with the 0 point on towards the A site, it just cancels out every single one. They're stuck there, and now Ayumi has the strong position to be able to take all of these duels head on. I mean, it's a vertical, elevated position as well, and that means that if Magnifique wants to take her down, they gotta flick upwards, and it kind of throws you off aim. But here we go. They're going back into it again, and Ayumi finds yet another. Margot just continuing to pile on. It's 2v5 at this point. Cannon Z able to take one off. That's a nice little bit of damage, but can they actually win this retake? I don't think so.
Not gonna happen, especially with Margot hitting shots like that. And, you know, Margot is really a player that I feel like we should be zoning on. We talk about Inari a lot, but Margot is pretty much, I think, the rock of this team. Like, she will not get all the highlight rounds and whatever, but she always gets those consistent kills. Like, she doesn't really miss the easy shots, and she always has the right positioning, knowing when to support her teammates. It's just, it's so comforting to know that you have a teammate like Margot on your squad that you can rely on when things get hairy.
Absolutely. I mean, you got Tarathiel, who is calling the shots, so she's kind of like that main leadership figure. But at the same time, you got someone like Margot who needs to be able to know what the exact game plan is. But to start things off, Elisa, with a cheeky little position, is actually able to find a Neri. So numbers advantage over on towards Magnifique. Can they actually capitalize off of this? Oh.
That's the res coming in to basically bring back that numbers advantage to Null and Void. As the rotation now coming in, oh, Cannon Z just misses the timing, gets spotted out, and now there's information that the rotate is coming in any second now. The screen as well will be dropped for the meantime as the full rotation will come in. They are going to be leaving Margot to go for this flank though, and she should be able to get one. Does get that pick off onto Alyssa now. They are going to be basically struggling. Well, who are we going to deal with first? Is it A? Is it B? Cannon Z's able to be good for one, but Margot on that flank is just wreaking havoc in the back lines, making life hell for Magnifique. Margot's found a third on the flank.
What? And now it's all up to Cannon Z. This is insane. If you're Magnifique, you have no idea where she is, how she's gonna hit you. She's actually able to down, but that's not quite enough. I mean, talk about revenge. Cannon Z still has to go up against 3 more players, and unfortunately, she misses her initial shot. Iceberg closes it out for AEC, and what looks to be a very, very dominating win streak for Alter Ego Celeste, 7-1. I mean, this is insane.
Celeste is just so good. I'm loving the initial blade towards A. They really need to find a way to deal with that. Somebody has to break that blade because they throw it at the beginning of every round, and the fact that it gets the pulse, it just leaves the A side so weak because where the turrets aren't gonna do anything. The nano swarms and the alarm bots aren't gonna do anything, and so they need to shoot it right out. And that's okay. Finally, it took long enough.
Well, now that it's gone, though, Null and Command has been deployed, and it also suppresses them. Ayumi finds a first entry, and now they have to deal with her somehow. No utility to work with, and it's going to be the spike that gets planted. Double kill now, but ooh, nice little pop flash. It's going to be Sazabi who goes in, finds a double, gets traded. All up to Lisa in this 1v3 now, and she gets wide peeked by Tarathiel.
Yeah, that double wide swing just so unforgiving. No way. Once her information was given, Celeste, they're like a pack of wolves, man. They will smell blood and they will just maul you. And Magnifique are just like completely lost at this point as to whether they can actually even do anything on this defensive side or not. You know, I reckon they should start actually considering different ways to approach this defensive side. Maybe call a timeout already. I think that they should start considering playing just retake on A because the holding, it's just not working for them.
Well, coming into this round though, it's going to be slightly different. I mean, they are looking to make a different play, but Margot has already read it. They know that it's going to be a little bit of aggression up from B, but not expecting the one from mid. It's going to be a 4v4, but still, the important thing to note is that AE Celeste has control over the A site.
Big pick off right there to cut off the flank towards mid. But they still have very big disadvantage in terms of weaponry, and it's in a 3v3. It's a little bit tough here. Maybe Sazabi can get a res in, but Alyssa going down already, leaving Sazabi all alone to fend for herself, and just not going to be able to do it. Ayumi's able to get that pick off in 9-1, and Celeste are looking, you know, like they have this in the bag already. I just don't see an out here right now for Magnifique.
I mean, you talked about it, and I would love to see them do it because a tactical timeout at this point is so much needed. I mean, we just take a look at the wins right now. It's 7 in a row, and they're not stopping at all. It's always this aggressive push, execute in towards A, and they are just unable to deal with it. I mean, whether it's the 0 point, whether it's the ultimates, they need to find a way to slow it down somehow.
That's the Blade Storm. Oh no, she gets spotted out, and this is what makes it so difficult to hold on to A. You not only do you have the Sova to contend with, but you also have the KO who's spotting you out, and she just already used her dash. Alyssa was dead to rights there. Hunter's Fury will be deployed. Will it even get anybody? Doesn't look like it for the meantime. Sazabi's able to pick up one, however, but they still have a res onto Alyssa. I don't know if they'll be able to utilize it, and Neri's playing that heaven position so close, and Iceberg's right there with a back up, and it doesn't look like it's going to go at all in the way of Magnifique.
Whoa.
Neri just stylishly finished off the round with a classic right click, jumping too, for that matter.
That is just, I mean, Neri dunking on the Magnifique players, jumping right click. What a way to close the round. And here it is, last round of the first half. Magnifique unable to respond to this whatsoever. It's incredible. I mean, this is a completely different AE Celeste that we saw from last month's Open, because when they didn't have KO, their strat usually tended to be a play in towards mid as well.
Well,
but this time, a little bit of a mistake. It happens, of course.
Even
Celeste, they're gonna have to work around it
sometime. So it's nice to see that they're human too.
Nice to see that they're not just absolute bots, but they're still pushing in regardless. I mean, Null Command is still active, but Tokibi is actually able to find one more. Ayumi gets downed, 2v2. Now this is slightly possible for Magnifique.
Yeah, but they have to worry about that flank coming in from Margot.
Uh-oh.
And I think Margot, if she gets lucky here, and she probably will get the timing down right, she could come up absolutely huge. Alyssa, okay, getting that kill onto Ayumi now. It's a 1v1, but still, 1v2 now, excuse me. Is Alyssa looking to creep from down under, gets information, but she's going to get taken down from above. Or will she? She gets actually out of dodge right there. Nice dash out, but only 35 HP left, and her information given up as well. Gets tagged up from the second floor. Outplayed by Iceberg on that round. 11-1 halftime scoreline, and this is just a complete decimation of Magnifique by Alter Ego Celeste.
Man, 11-1. You know what that means? Magnifique, this pistol round is so crucial. They desperately need it because if they lose this, it's match point and then they have a broken economy. That's just not good. Not good at all, Elu.
I mean, at this point, I feel like 10 rounds is a little bit much of an uphill climb for almost even any professional team here. Just don't think that it's going to happen. But well, I guess Alter Ego Celeste, they're here to play. They're qualified, but they want all the points. They're the dragons of the FSL right now, hoarding all the points.
Yeah, hoarding every single. I mean, they already have 40. This is just.
They're
They're gonna be
take this too.
resting nicely. Yeah, all those coins, and I don't know, man. Well, Magnifique, if they lose this, it's not all over. But which other teams do you think are possible in dethroning, actually, Alter Ego Celeste?
Yeah, we had a little chat about it, and I think Galaxy Racer are one of my picks. I think they're looking very good. I mean, Oasis, we considered them for a minute, but before I get into that, a little bit of a tussle here towards mid. Some exchange of HP is now coming, but both teams should be able to heal up pretty nicely as both of them have a Sage. Alyssa
Oh my god.
pretty low, and they're going to be able to get Darlene quite low onto 10, and Neri just gets a
Not
nice
like
headshot right
this.
there with a Sheriff, and they're just losing all the duels. This look like it's pretty much a done deal unless somehow they land every single shot right here. Ayumi's getting a couple misses, but somehow still alive. The backup from Neri, and they actually prevail for now. Alyssa's able to get one, but can they find any more? Doesn't look like it because Neri's gone huge with 4 kills to close out this game, and Celeste is basically on match point already. This is almost all done and dusted.
What's this? What is this? You don't often see players buying a Sheriff on round 1 because that's the all-in. 800 credits just for that one weapon. You don't get any form of utility whatsoever, and somehow Aneri still makes it work. This is insane. I mean, I've said that so much already, but match point, and now you see it on your screen. Only Ghosts, maybe a Sheriff. They don't get all that much to work with, and AEC are very close to closing this out.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much the end of the road here. But I mean, always a miracle, just like that. Great shot from Takibi. Tazabi is also right there with a follow-up on Margot.
No.
But Ayumi, okay, I see you. Darlene gets the trade-off, though, but it's now brought to a 2v3. Tarathiel and Margot left standing here. Margot misses that spray down and brought down quite low in terms of the HP. No heals available for the meantime. It's a great wall to get Tarathiel out of the picture for now, leaving the spike in their hands, and they just gotta whittle this time away here. But Margot gets spotted off. They know she's pushing in from Bell, so it's a good recon. Zabi gets one here, and Margot's able. Oh no, he's not dead yet. Gets swung from the side.
What?
Finds another. Gets the reload somehow. 18 HP. Zabi's on 87 on full, and she somehow does it. Margot out of nowhere turns and gets that 4K to deny any chance of a victory for Magnifique.
Are you kidding me? What was that? Margot with a Spectre and a 1v3 clutch to win it all. 13-1 on Icebox. This is incredible. I mean, just perfect crosshair placement, perfect flicks. She was so low. That should have been Sazabi or Sherry KX's win.
That's gotta be that's gotta be a little bit of a stinger, isn't it? Like you feel that.
Literally, she had a stinger in her hands.
Indeed, it just I wouldn't know how to feel about that if I were on Magnifique's side. You just, I think if I were on Magnifique's side, I'd lock that in my vault and just be like, no, I'm just gonna move on and
bury it deep beneath somewhere in the inside your mind.
Didn't happen. That's now in the subconscious of them forever. But I can't blame them. That was actually a decent crossfire. It's just that Celeste, Margot just won all the duels and was able to isolate the fights. And,
I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that there is that one egg cracked spray in this episode's battle pass. Yeah, it's time to press that button and spray that on the ground because Margot, she is absolutely correct.
I just so many great performances from Margot in that game. Like so many triple kills and so many great holds and I just think that when Ascent really didn't go the way of Magnifique, it really painted a picture of how I think the rest of the series was going to go here. But, at the end of the day, it's pretty good experience, for the side of Magnifique. It's a good, power level test to see where you really truly stack up against the best. But at the end of the day, it's also kind of a little bit of a reality check. Like, okay, these are the things that we got to work on. Definitely need to work on, some of the mechanics, I'd say, because let's face it, man, the aim duels really just all went towards Celeste.
Just perfect, dude. I mean, you saw it. First it was Margot. I mean, you have a Neri, you have a Yumi. You also have Iceberg as well as Tarathiel. They're all so individually good. They're dubbed the C9 White of FSL Valorant Circuit for a reason. Magnifique, they tried what they could, but I think they need to go back to the drawing board to think about what's kind of weak in their roster and how they can best work on it. They managed to qualify, and that's good enough. I mean, they're not out of this tournament yet. So if there are any Magnifique fans out there, now is the time to support them because they need it. They're sent to the lower bracket, but they stand a chance at clawing their way back in.
Yeah, it's going to be a long, tough, windy road, though, in that lower bracket because anybody really... I think there's just so many strong contenders in this tournament. I mean, you look at the rest of the brackets, you got Galaxy Racer. I mean, you got Renatus White. There's just so many teams that you could potentially look at and say, these guys might actually have a chance at taking this. I mean, sure, granted, Celeste is the current favorite. But at the same time, we still have a pretty good chance for an upset. However, we will take a little bit of a breather and talk about this a little bit later on. When we do get back, we're going to be starting with the second game of the series. However, I'm going to be leaving you, for the meantime, in the capable hands of our amazing hosts, panelists. It's going to be Quack coming up right now, as well as Jenny. So they're going to be taking care of you. Sorry, Rarichu. They've got you on lock for the next one. So, again, I'm Ilstrato. This is Quack. We'll be back in just a second. This is the Valorant Game Changers, SEA and FSL. We'll be back in just a second.
Drop, drop, drip,